I didn't know I was the other man in my own relationship. Not until I followed her to a hotel on a Tuesday and watched her walk in like she owned the place. But that came later. The real story started 3 weeks earlier when she stopped drinking her coffee. Small thing, right? Except my girlfriend Emma had been drinking black coffee every morning for 6 years straight. You could set your watch by it. Coffee first, 15 minutes scrolling her phone, then getting ready for work. That Thursday, she just grabbed her bag and left 20 minutes early. I stood there holding her favorite mug, the one with the chipped handle, and something felt wrong. Not wrong like she's cheating wrong. Just off. Like when you walk into a room and can't figure out what's been moved. I told myself I was being paranoid. Emma worked as a project coordinator downtown. Standard 9 to 5, occasional late meetings, mostly predictable. We'd been together 6 years. Had our rhythms. Dinner at 6, TV on the couch, falling asleep before the episode ended. It wasn't exciting anymore, but it was comfortable. It was ours. That Thursday evening, she came home at 9:30. Sorry, she said, dropping her bag by the door. Meeting ran late. New clients being difficult. I'd already eaten. The pasta sat in a container in the fridge. Want me to heat something up? Already grabbed something at the office. She headed straight for the bedroom. Exhausted. Going to shower and crash. I didn't see her again until morning. Friday was normal. Saturday too. By Sunday, I'd convinced myself it was nothing. People have off weeks. Then Tuesday happened. Meeting Sarah for drinks after work. Emma mentioned over breakfast. Haven't seen her in forever. Sarah was her college roommate. They met up every few months, usually planned weeks in advance with group texts I accidentally got added to. Emma would complain about coordinating schedules. This seemed sudden. Which bar? I asked. That new place on 8th. The one with the cocktails. There were 3 new bars on 8th Street. She didn't specify which one. At 6, I texted, hope you're having fun. Tell Sarah I said hi. 20 minutes later, will do. Probably be home around 10. She came home at 11:15. Her lipstick was gone. She smelled like cigarette smoke even though she'd quit 3 years ago. Bar was packed, she explained. Everyone smoking on the patio. Gets in your clothes. Made sense. Except Emma hated cigarette smoke. Usually complained for hours after being around it. That night, she didn't mention it once. Wednesday morning, she was cheerful. Almost too cheerful. Made jokes while getting ready. Asked about my students. I taught high school English. Seemed lighter somehow. How was Sarah? I asked. Good. Same as always. Still dating that guy from her firm. The lawyer. Accountant. I'd met Sarah maybe 4 times. Couldn't remember if her boyfriend was a lawyer or accountant. But Emma had talked about him before, and I was pretty sure she'd said lawyer. Maybe I was wrong. Thursday evening, I was loading the dishwasher when Emma's phone buzzed on the counter. Screen lit up with a text preview. Marcus, still on for next Tuesday? I stared at it until the screen went dark. Marcus. I didn't know any Marcus. Emma had never mentioned a Marcus. When she came back, I asked casually, who's Marcus? She didn't even pause. Guy from work. We're coordinating on the Patterson account. The new client? Different one. Patterson's been with us for a while. I nodded and went back to the dishes. That night, I did something I'm not proud of. After Emma fell asleep, I took her phone into the bathroom. Her passcode hadn't changed. Same 4 digits, her sister's birthday. I opened her messages and scrolled to Marcus. The conversation went back 3 weeks. Most of it was work stuff. Meeting times, client presentations. But the tone felt off. Too familiar. Tuesday's going to be great, he'd written on Sunday. Can't wait. She'd responded with a smiley face. I screenshotted everything, sent them to myself, deleted the sent messages. My hands shook the whole time. Back in bed, she rolled over and mumbled something in her sleep. I stared at the ceiling until sunrise. Friday, I called in sick. First time in 2 years. After Emma left, I drove to her office building downtown. Parked across the street where I could see the entrance. I felt insane, like some paranoid character from a bad movie. But I sat there anyway. At noon, she came out with a guy I didn't recognize. Tall, dark hair, expensive suit. They walked to a sandwich place 2 blocks down, sat outside, talked and laughed for 45 minutes. Could have been Marcus. Could have been anyone. They weren't touching. Weren't sitting too close. Just 2 coworkers having lunch. I drove home and tried to grade essays. Couldn't focus on anything. That night, Emma was quiet. We ordered pizza, watched a documentary about penguins, Went to bed early. She fell asleep with her head on my chest. I thought maybe I was losing my mind over nothing. But then Tuesday came again. Working late tonight, Emma said that morning. Quarterly reviews. Probably won't be home until 8 or 9. On a Tuesday? They moved them up this quarter. Mentioned it last week, remember? I didn't remember. I also didn't remember her company doing quarterly reviews in October. Right, I said. Good luck. She kissed my cheek and left. During lunch period, I sat in my empty classroom and called Emma's company. Hi, trying to reach my girlfriend, I said when the receptionist answered. Emma Lawson. Think she left her lunch at home. Let me transfer you. The phone rang 4 times, then voicemail. Her voice, professional. You've reached Emma Lawson. Please leave a message. Actually, I said when the receptionist came back. Do you know if she's in a meeting? Don't want to interrupt. Let me check the calendar. Keyboard sounds. Nothing scheduled until 2. She might be at lunch. No worries. I'll text her. Thanks. I hung up. No quarterly reviews on the calendar. No meeting scheduled for tonight at all. At 4, I got in my car and drove downtown again. Same spot across from her building. 5:30, she came out. Same tall guy from Friday. They walked to the parking garage together, talking. She got in her car. He got in his. Both turned left onto Madison. I followed from a distance. Her car headed west, away from our neighborhood. After 15 minutes, she pulled into a hotel parking lot. Mid-range place. Business traveler type. The guy's car was already there. I parked at the far end and watched her walk into the lobby. She didn't look around, didn't hesitate. Just walked in like she'd done it before. I sat there for 20 minutes, hands gripping the steering wheel. Then I drove home. The apartment felt empty. I made coffee I didn't drink, turned on TV I didn't watch, sat on the couch in the dark. At 9:30, I heard her key in the lock. Sorry that ran so late, she called out, setting down her bag. Everyone kept going off topic. She came into the living room, saw me in the dark. Why are you sitting in the dark? Just thinking. She flipped on the lamp. About what? How was your day? Long, exhausting. Those reviews are brutal. She stretched. Going to shower. How's Marcus? She froze. Just for a second. But I saw it. Fine, I guess. What? Just curious. He's fine. Normal Marcus. She headed toward the bathroom. Why are you asking? You two seem to work together a lot. Small team. We all work together a lot. The shower ran for 20 minutes. When she came out, I was still on the couch. You okay? She asked, toweling her hair. Yeah. Tired. She sat next to me. Close enough that I could smell her shampoo. Same one she'd used for years. You've been weird lately, she said. Weird how? Distant. Asking strange questions. Strange like asking about your coworkers? It's the way you ask. Like you're testing me. I looked at her. Really looked at her. She met my eyes without flinching. Are you seeing someone else? I asked. The words hung between us. She laughed. Genuine surprise. What? No. Why would you even ask that? You've been acting different. Different how? Late nights. Vague about plans. Secret meetings. They're not secret, they're work meetings. She put her hand on my knee. Where is this coming from? You said you were having quarterly reviews tonight. I was. Your company calendar said you had nothing scheduled. Her hand went still. You called my office? I wanted to bring you lunch. Receptionist checked your calendar. That's my personal calendar. Reviews were on the shared team calendar. In a hotel? Her face changed. The concern disappeared, replaced by something harder. You followed me. I drove by your office. And followed me to a hotel. You lied about where you were going. She stood up. We rented a conference room for privacy. Reviews cover sensitive performance information. Can't do them in the office where everyone can hear. It sounded reasonable. Could have been true. Who's Marcus? I asked again. A coworker. You text him a lot. We work on the same accounts. You seem close. We're friendly. That's what happens when you work with someone every day. You went to a hotel with him. I went to a hotel for work. He attended the same meeting. That's not the same thing. She was angry now. Rigid and defensive. I need you to be honest with me, I said. I am being honest. You're being paranoid. Then show me your phone. Excuse me. If there's nothing going on, show me your messages with Marcus. That's private. We've been together 6 years. Which doesn't mean you get to read my private conversations. I'm not asking to read your diary. Just texts with one specific person. No. That one word told me everything. Why not? I asked. Because it's the principle. You don't trust me. So now you want to invade my privacy to prove I'm lying. I just want to understand. Nothing's happening. You're creating a problem that doesn't exist. She grabbed her phone and went into the bedroom, closing the door. I sat there for a long time. Eventually, I went to bed. She was already asleep, or pretending to be, turned away from me. Wednesday morning, she left early without saying much. I called in sick again. Second time that week. I drove to the hotel, walked into the lobby like I belonged there. Hi, I was here for a meeting yesterday evening, I told the clerk. Left my notebook in the conference room. Any chance I could check? Which conference room? Not sure. My colleague booked it. Emma Lawson, the clerk typed. I don't see any conference room reservations under that name yesterday. Maybe it was under Marcus. Sorry, don't remember his last name. Marketing firm. Rented a room for a few hours. More typing. No corporate bookings yesterday evening at all. We had 2 business meetings earlier in the day, but both ended by 4. Oh, I stood there. Maybe I have the wrong hotel. Maybe. Sorry I couldn't help. I walked back to my car and sat in the parking lot. No conference room. No meeting. Just a lie. At home, I went to the bedroom closet. Emma kept a gym bag in the back she hadn't used in months. I unzipped it. Inside was a change of clothes. Black dress, heels, makeup bag. Things she wouldn't need for the gym. I checked the makeup bag. New lipstick, expensive brand. Shade she didn't usually wear. Receipt crumpled at the bottom, dated 2 weeks ago. I sat on the bedroom floor holding the lipstick. That afternoon, I found Marcus's full name through Emma's company website. Marcus Chun, Senior Account Manager. Looked him up on social media. His Instagram was mostly open. Recent photos showed expensive restaurants, craft cocktails, hiking trails. The lifestyle you'd advertise to attract someone. I scrolled back through weeks of posts. Then I saw it. 3 weeks ago. A photo of a cocktail at sunset. Caption, perfect end to a perfect Tuesday. 2 weeks ago. Another Tuesday photo. Best night of the week. Last week. Tuesday tradition continues. Every photo was from a Tuesday. The same night Emma had been unavailable. When Emma came home that evening at her normal time, I was cooking dinner like nothing was wrong. Smells good, she said. Just pasta. She wrapped her arms around me from behind. I'm sorry about last night. I overreacted. It's okay. No, it's not. You were asking reasonable questions, and I got defensive. She rested her chin on my shoulder. I've been stressed with work. Shouldn't take it out on you. I get it. Do you? I turned around. She looked tired. Genuine tired. I've been stressed too, I said, feeling like we're disconnected. I know. I feel it too. She touched my face. What if we do something this weekend? Just us. Get out of the city, stay at that bed and breakfast you like. The one in Vermont. Yeah. Leave Friday after work, come back Sunday. Reset things. It sounded nice. Like something we would have done a year ago. Okay, I said. She kissed me, and for a moment I let myself believe everything might be fine. That night, after she fell asleep, I checked her phone again. The messages with Marcus were gone. Not deleted. The entire thread had disappeared. She'd erased the evidence. I looked at her sleeping face, peaceful and innocent, and realized I didn't know her anymore. Thursday at work, I could barely function. One of my students asked if I was okay during 4th period. I'd been staring at the same paragraph in their essay for 5 minutes. Just tired, I told him. At lunch, I called the bed and breakfast in Vermont. Do you have any reservations this weekend under Lawson? Let me check. No, nothing under that name. What about Chun? No Chun either. I thanked them and hung up. She hadn't booked anything. Another lie. Friday afternoon, Emma texted, rain check on Vermont? Something came up at work. Might have to go in tomorrow. I stared at the message before responding. No problem. Another time. Thanks for understanding. Love you. Love you too, I typed back. It felt like a reflex more than truth. Saturday morning, she left at 9. Said she'd be back by dinner. I waited until her car disappeared, then drove to Marcus's address. I'd found it through a people search website. Felt creepy doing it, but I needed to know. He lived in a condo building 20 minutes away. Nice area. Expensive. I parked down the street and waited. 10:30, Emma's car pulled into visitor parking. She got out, walked to the building entrance like she'd been there before. Used the call box. A minute later, the door buzzed open. She went inside. I sat in my car and counted minutes. 30, 60, 90, 115, she came back out. Her hair was Messier. Same clothes but rumpled. She got in her car and left. I stayed there another hour, feeling numb. At home, I pulled out my laptop and started researching apartments. One bedrooms in my price range. Places I could afford on a teacher's salary alone. 6 o'clock, Emma came home with takeout. Figured you might be hungry, she said, holding up the bag. Thai from that place you like. Thanks. We ate at the kitchen table in silence. How was work? I asked. Fine. Got through most of what I needed to do. Good. She was watching me carefully. You're being weird again. Just tired. You keep saying that. Because it keeps being true. She set down her fork. Did I do something wrong? The question almost made me laugh. Why would you think that? Because you're acting like earlier this week. Distant. Cold. Maybe I'm matching your energy. What does that mean? You've been distant for weeks. Coming home late. Being vague. Lying about where you are. I haven't been lying. You went to see Marcus today. Her face went blank. What? I followed you. Saw you go to his apartment. Long silence. You followed me. You lied about working. I did work. We worked from his place. For 3 hours. It was a complex project. On a Saturday. The deadline's Monday. Every answer came too quick. Too smooth. Practiced. Show me the project, I said. What? Show me what you were working on. Pull it up right now. It's confidential client information. I'm not asking for details. Just show me it exists. This is ridiculous. Then show me. She stood up. I'm not going to keep defending myself against your paranoia. It's not paranoia if it's true. Nothing is true. You're making things up because you're insecure. I saw you, Emma. I saw you go into his building and come out 3 hours later looking like you just rolled out of bed. Her face flushed. You're crazy. You know that. You're actually crazy. Tell me the truth. I have been telling you the truth. Then say it. Look me in the eye and tell me you're not sleeping with Marcus. The silence was the loudest thing I'd ever heard. She opened her mouth, closed it, opened it again. She started, then stopped. That's what I thought, I said quietly. I walked to the bedroom, started pulling clothes out of the closet, throwing them into a duffel bag. She followed. What are you doing? Leaving. You can't just leave. Watch me. Can we please talk about this? There's nothing to talk about. You're cheating. You've been lying for weeks. That's all I need to know. It's not. She stopped. I turned. It's not what? Not what I think. Not serious? Not my business. Tears ran down her face. It's complicated. It's really not. I didn't mean for it to happen. But it did. He understood things about me that you don't. Like what? Like my career. My ambitions. He takes me seriously. I've always taken you seriously. You tolerate my job. You don't celebrate it. When I got promoted last year, you said, that's nice, and went back to grading papers. So you fucked your coworker. She flinched. Don't say it like that. How should I say it? You're having an affair. You're cheating. Pick whichever phrase makes you feel better. I was going to tell you. When? After another month? Another year? I was trying to figure out what I wanted, while keeping me as backup. That's not fair. I zipped the duffel. You know what's not fair? 6 years together. 6 years of me trusting you completely. And you threw it away because someone at work paid attention to you. It's more than that. I don't care what it is. I'm done. She was crying harder. Please don't go. We can work through this. No, we can't. People get past affairs. We can go to counseling. I don't want to get past this. I want to be with someone who doesn't lie to me. I made a mistake. I looked at her. Mascara running, hands shaking, desperate. How long? I asked. What? How long have you been sleeping with him? She didn't answer. Emma. How long? 6 weeks, she whispered. 6 weeks. A month and a half. Coming home and kissing me goodnight after being with someone else. Did you use our bed? No. Never. I would never. Just his place. She nodded. Every Tuesday. Another nod. The quarterly reviews. Sarah's drinks. Working late. All lies. I'm sorry. Do you love him? She hesitated too long. Never mind, I said. Doesn't matter. I picked up my bag and walked toward the door. Where are you going? She asked, following. My brother's place. For how long? However long it takes to find my own apartment. So that's it. You're just leaving. I stopped and turned back. What did you expect? That I'd forgive you? That we'd have a tearful conversation and move past this? I expected you to care enough to fight for us. I'm not fighting for something that doesn't exist anymore. You ended us when you slept with someone else. I'm just making it official. I walked out and closed the door. Sat in my car for a few minutes listening to her cry inside. Then I started the engine and drove away. My brother lived 40 minutes north. When I showed up with a duffel bag, he didn't ask questions, just pointed to the guest room. "You can stay as long as you need," he said. "Thanks. Want to talk about it?" "Not yet." He nodded and left me alone. I lay on the guest bed staring at the ceiling, replaying the last few weeks. All the signs I tried to explain away. All the lies I'd wanted to believe. My phone buzzed. "Emma, please come home. We need to talk." I didn't respond. Another text. "I know I messed up, but 6 years has to mean something." It did mean something. It meant I wasted 6 years on someone who couldn't be honest. Another text. I ended it with Marcus. "It's over. I choose you." I turned off my phone. The next few weeks were mechanical. Taught classes, graded papers, looked at apartments, avoided Emma's calls. She tried everything. Texts, voicemails, emails, showing up at my brother's place. I didn't engage. 2 months later, I signed a lease on a 1-bedroom near the school. Small but decent. Affordable. Mine. My brother helped me move in. We assembled IKEA furniture in silence. "You doing okay?" he asked. "Getting there." "Have you talked to her?" "No." "Are you going to?" "Eventually. Need to figure out the stuff at the old place." He nodded. "For what it's worth, I think you did the right thing." "Doesn't feel right." "Probably won't for a while." He was right. But slowly, things got easier. New routines. Cooking for one. Grading in silence. Walking to work. Small changes that added up to a different life. 3 months after leaving, Emma texted, "I'm moving to Portland. Got a job offer. Wanted you to know." I stared at the message before responding. "Good luck with that." "Thank you. I really am sorry about everything." "I know. Do you think you'll ever forgive me?" I thought about that. Forgiveness felt too big, too generous. "Maybe someday," I typed. "But not today." "That's fair. Take care of yourself." "You too." And that was it. 6 years reduced to a brief text exchange. She left the city. I heard through mutual friends that she and Marcus didn't last. Apparently, he wasn't interested in anything serious once she was actually available. Poetic justice, someone said. I didn't find it particularly poetic. Just predictable. I started dating again eventually. Nothing serious at first. Just coffee and conversation with people who had no connection to my past. It felt strange being single after so long, but also freeing in ways I hadn't expected. One night, about a year after everything fell apart, I was having drinks with teacher friends when one asked what happened with Emma. "She cheated," I said simply. "That sucks. Did you try to work it out?" "No." "Really?" "Just ended it right away." I thought about the Tuesday nights. The hotel lies. The deleted messages. The 3 hours at Marcus's apartment. Some things you don't come back from, I said. One friend raised his glass. To knowing when to walk away. We all drank to that. If you've stayed with me this long, I appreciate it. There's more to the story if you want to hear it. Later that night, walking home to my small apartment, I thought about the version of myself who'd sat in a dark living room waiting for Emma to come home from fake quarterly reviews. The one who'd wanted so badly to believe her that he'd ignored obvious lies. That version felt like a stranger now. I'd learned things about myself. That I could survive heartbreak. That I didn't need someone else to feel complete. That self-respect mattered more than saving a relationship that had already ended. Hard lessons, but necessary ones. My phone buzzed. Text from a woman I'd been seeing casually for a few weeks. "Still on for dinner tomorrow?" I smiled and typed back, "Absolutely. Looking forward to it." And I meant it. The apartment was quiet when I got home. No one else's schedule to accommodate. No lies to decode. No paranoia about where someone was or who they were with. Just peace. I made tea, sat on my secondhand couch, opened a book I'd been meaning to read. Outside, the city hummed with nighttime energy. Inside, everything was still. It wasn't the life I'd planned a year ago, but it was honest. It was mine. And that was enough. Thanks for listening to my story. If it resonated with you, I'd love to hear about it in the comments.